Brown Dog Gadgets. Live.
Hey there, it's Josh from Brown Dog Gadgets. I'm here as always with our producer Pete.
Hey there.
Hey, it's Pete. Pete always does a great job of making sure that things work out okay. And why is my phone going off all the time? Thanks,
all those
spam.
likes, all the likes.
Yay. It's because people are liking things so much they just want to ring in.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. But hey, today we're doing another fun build. I'm really thrown off by that phone. We're doing a fun build today. We're making a solar cockroach. It's a fun solar-powered vibrobot that's pretty easy to make. We've been doing this for years. It's literally the first project we ever made and started selling online. And it's our first Instructables post. It's first of many for us, but we've refined this puppy over the years from being my first soldering project into being a non-soldering activity using our maker tape. As always, if you want to find directions for this, information, videos, all that fun jazz for this, you can go visit browndoggadgets.com. Yay! And if you want to hang out with us more and see other cool things we're doing, you can find us on social media posts, such as all of these fun overlays. Basically, Brown Dog Gadgets on all your favorite Instagram, Twitter, Facebook-y things. Follow us, because we're doing social media things, and it makes us feel better when people post nice comments. Please, make us feel better. But yeah, let's pop into the build of this one. If you want directions in English and Spanish, again, browndoggadgets.com. Thanks, Pete.
Yeah.
For those, again, English and Spanish, Espanol, because why not?
Cinco de Mayo.
It is Cinco de Mayo. It is the fun, weird conjunction of Cinco de Mayo and Taco Tuesday. Because I know I'm having this evening.
Revenge of the 5th.
Oh, Revenge of the 5th.
The 5th is whatever.
As well, we actually did post a bunch of fun Star Wars-related projects recently on our social media accounts. Things we already have up on our website are fun Star Wars cards, and actually, finally, totally forgot, we did post a fun R2-D2 thing on Instructables yesterday, which has been actually up there, just not published for months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Meant to do that in the last Star Wars thing. But anyway, let's pop to our overhead view and start making this project. So this project doesn't take a whole lot to make, and just requires a few simple tools. We have a couple different versions of this kit. We have a single on our website for $5. We've got a 4-pack for $20. Go figure. We have a 25-pack for $100, which is our classroom set, pretty much. And they all contain enough materials and pretty much everything you need except a hot glue gun and scissors and a wire cutter in the bag. So you shouldn't need any more components or parts to do this. In the bigger kits, we have a little tiny quick guide direction set here, because this is always helpful. Otherwise, we have much bigger directions in the video on our website for all that stuff. Thanks, Pete.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's a pretty straightforward project. And really, as much like our BristleBot, it is a vibrating motor attached to something else to make the project wiggle around. We just like the fact that this turns into a fun cockroach-type creature when you put it together on top of a small 2-volt solar cell. Now, ages and ages and ages ago, if you go to our Instructables page, you'll find my original posting back when I was teaching like 9-10 years ago. Looks a little different, but almost identical in the build to this. We're just using a little, there we go, 2-volt solar panel here. This is a pretty common little 2-volt, about 20 milliamp solar panel. Not great for much. To get an LED going, you'd probably need at least 3 volts of power, but then again, it has to be in full sunlight. And this is one of those situations where this project does not store energy. It only captures it and turns it directly into electrical power to power a little self-sticking vibrating motor here. So if you take it out of the sun, it will turn off. Now, this is actually part of a whole lesson plan we've been putting together and kind of been doing on and off for years, where you use your solar cockroach as a sensor with different types of light. So if you're a teacher in a classroom, want to teach kids about, well, different light sources have different wavelengths, have different energies they put out. Let's compare that with a vibrating motor on a solar panel, our eyes and our hand, to test out those different sources. Because a 60-watt incandescent bulb is going to have a lot of heat and some light, but not any useful solar energy. Whereas an LED has a lot of great bright light, but no heat. Again, and no solar energy unless you really, the UV energy needed to get a solar panel going. Unless you have a really, really, really strong one. I used to have like a 4-watt flashlight. Ooh. To blind a person at 100 yards with that. That would actually get this going if you put the flashlight right on top of it. But it's nice just to test different types of light in a very simple, easy, kid-friendly way in a classroom, and taking measurements from 1 inch away, 2 inches away. But it's been a lesson plan we've been kicking around for ages and different variations. But it's a very simple project. And let's get right down to making it. So first and foremost, we're going to take a peek at the parts here. We've got a couple of paper clips, jumbo paper clips, our self-sticking vibrating motor. We've got some maker tape here, which is our nylon conductive awesome tape. And we have some magnet wire and a couple googly eyes to go with this. And first and foremost, we're just going to take a look at our solar panel here and notice a couple interesting points. Typically, you'd solder at these two little points right here. And actually, let's go to the close-up camera, Pete.
Close-up camera.
There we go. So, get a little closer with this guy, hopefully. Thanks, Logitech. A little better. So we got a couple of solder points here and here. There we go. Oh, you're totally close to it. Solder points here and here. We're not going to use those because if we're soldering, those are great for use in soldering. But until you solder them, there's actually a little enamel layer on top of them. We'll switch back over here again. That kind of prevents them from getting oxidized, getting corroded from just stuff in the air. So if we try to attach our motor directly to these guys, nothing's going to happen. Again, if you're soldering, great. If you're not soldering, you want to use these guys, which is actually the connection from the backside of the PCB to the solar panel in the front. There are actually little bits of solder right there that does connect to this metal strip over here. You can hear a very sassy spaniel in the background.
I can hear it.
He's a good dog, but he's not great for live stream.
He's a brown dog.
He is a brown dog. But so we're going to actually attach our little motor with our wires to this spot right there. And really the nice part is you can do a lot of this in a lot of different ways, but we're going to put ours right here, and we're going to attach our wire here and here with a little bit of our maker tape. Now, our maker tape is conductive on top and bottom, so it'll make a nice strong connection, and that's basically it.
So wait a minute. You're saying instead of getting my soldering iron and some solder and melting it and burning my fingers and you can just tape it down?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
We used to do it soldering. I mean, again, if you want to solder this on, these little wire leads are great for soldering. And if you're running a scout camp after school program, we actually do want to do some soldering, go for it. It's great. It's really hard to screw this activity up. And I mean that as somebody who's watched a lot of kids try to screw this up over the years. It's really hard to do that because those little wires are pretty forgiving, as well as the back of the solar panel. So
this seems like a nice kit because you could make a choice then if you want to use the tape or solder if you move up to soldering and want to deal with that.
Exactly. And this is quite popular amongst after-school programs and summer camp programs, especially library camps, it seems. In the summer for like my first soldering project, it's not just a blinky LED. So I'm going to take my little wire from my motor. I'm going to put it right over the top of that little silver spot there, take some maker tape, and just kind of put it over the top of the two and press down a bit. I'm going to not be too fancy on this guy. There you go. And I've got a strong connection like that. As long as the tape is making good contact with that silver spot and then making good contact with the exposed wire on the end here, you're fine. So it's literally that easy to attach the components. The hard part is the hot glue. Hot glue, the #1 source of all injuries here at Brown Dog Gadgets. I always joke that soldering irons people tend to really be careful with because, soldering iron, I don't use that very much. It's dangerous. But a hot glue gun does not tend to invoke that same bit of dread in people, so they're a little more cavalier about using the hot glue gun, and they tend to hurt themselves with it.
I was thinking of putting a sticker on it that said danger. That might help.
Yeah, would it melt off?
I'll put it on the handle.
So right now, if I was to take this outside in the sun, we have no sun today, but I take this in the sun and just take it out in direct sunlight, put it in the sun, it would start vibrating. And that's it. That's all of our electrical connection right there. Now, one fun point here, Pete, I found over the years. If you hook up like a red blinking LED, just a naturally red blinking LED, sometimes if you have really nice, good sunlight, all the conditions are great, you can hook one up in parallel here, and it'll blink and then pulse the motor. But you have to have, because these solar cells are 2 volts, you have to have just the right, like really nice California summer sunny kind of weather, which we don't here in Wisconsin.
We do between, I think, July 15th and August 15th every now and then.
Typically,
a little bit.
But if you can get that to work. I usually do that kind of approach with the blinking red LED with battery-powered things with vibrating motors, because then there's no issue.
Yeah.
But you can get things to pulse in fun ways with that. But anyway, this is it. This is it for the electronics. This is electrically done. And everything else is fun embellishments. So our kits come with these large paper clips, which I've already cut a couple here to the side. But we just cut them down a bit to give you some fun metal legs. We just spread those apart, and we're going to just hot glue those down in the center to give ourselves some cockroach legs. Now,
How did you cut those?
I used this fun little wire cutter.
Oh.
Oh, there we go. Now we're in frame. Wire cutter. Scissors will work if you have some nice, big, heavy scissors and cut kind of towards the bottom.
Could you kind of just wiggle it back and forth enough? Will it snap?
No, I would actually no, because we cut right here in the center. There's a spot
okay.
that works really well for cutting it. We have that actually in our directions right here too, how to cut them. So you can end up with 4 sets of legs. You want to have 8 legs on your cockroach.
There you go.
You can do that. I'm just going to do 2 today because that's a lot of eye-hand coordination. I'm going to spread these guys apart too.
Too much for you.
Yeah, at this time of day on a Monday.
I think it's Tuesday.
Oh, shoot, we're Tuesday, aren't we? Wow. See what I mean? But yeah, we just throw a little hot glue down here. And then, thank you, Dangerous Hot Glue Gun. I'm going to throw my other legs down here, and we're going to play the waiting game.
Now, the hot glue, it's not conductive, right?
Nope, it's not. It's an insulator.
It's an insulator.
Which is nice, because it's not going to mess with anything else on here. And it's very forgiving if you really screw things up and really hate what you've done. You can just peel the hot glue back off once it's dry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're just going to wait here for a moment for this. By the way, if anybody has any questions, please throw them our way about solar things, about projects. But this is it. Now, you're probably wondering, hey, Josh, I have some old garden lights from outside. Oh, yes, we all have a few of those stuck in our garage that are broken. And depending on the type you have, you can, in fact, rip that little solar panel off the top and use it to make this project. You just need to get yourself a small vibrating motor. You probably have to solder something like that. But I've had people do this with garden lights. I mean, typically if they've got the nice like plastic kind of panel that looks like this but round, they're nice. When you get the ones that have a glass top, I've seen those at the Dollar Tree a lot. Those are hard to get out because you'll break them quite a bit. Yeah. And they don't have a very good solder spot on the back because they're a different type of cell. They're like a film as opposed to this hard PCB-based kind. So ta-da!
Wow.
But if you want to use garden lights, do that. So there's that. Yay, we've got our cockroach there. And put in the sun, he'll vibrate around. Now we also have googly eyes. We have some magnet wire that comes with this kit because these are for antenna, which we then use our really nice little bit of hot glue here at the front. There we go, so nothing burns down. And we're just going to add this magnet wire right here, let it dry. Then we have magnet wire coming up. And if we wanted to, we have these self-sticking googly eyes that we can stick in there too. But I'm not going to do those because I don't need more googly eyes around. But that's it. This is literally the project. There's nothing more to it. That's where like the lesson plan comes into play. And that's why this is a great like 5 to 10 minute activity for the kids to make and then take further with the lesson plan and activity.
Yeah.
We are putting together a paper-based version of this. So there's no glue, there's no hot glue guns involved, there's no snipping, there's no... Yeah. It's a little more arts and craftsy than this is. And we've kept that idea around for a while. We have a solar bug that's similar, but we're transitioning that from a laser cut body to a paper, like hard, heavy cardstock body, just to make it more arts and crafts friendly. So yeah, so that's it. And I would show this thing vibrating around, but even with our nice big studio lights here that are, what are these? Compact fluorescents we've got here. They're not enough to get this thing to vibrate around. And
you can simulate it. Just kind of.
By the way, the googly eyes do add a nice little like rattle to it.
Yeah.
But I usually say a nice smooth surface like a glass tabletop or something, because these are nice and pokey. If you want to bend these forward or around to get a more smooth bottom, these are little pokey bottoms to them. It's a pretty simple project. It's about as simple of a solar project as you can get without having to go out and buy like a little $2 or $3 solar car, which you can always buy on Amazon. There's like a finished version of this project, a little grasshopper that's been for sale on Amazon for at least a decade or more from China. Same exact project, just finished for $5 versus making your own, which is always a little more fun. And you can, again, take this and add this to a papercraft project or something else. But the nice part is you put this in the sun, it vibrates around, you take it and just hand over the top into shadow, it stops. And even having to change the angle to get the right amount of sun depending on the time of day. But again, it's way too cloudy out here in Wisconsin. Nice and dreary, and like 45 today here?
It's supposed to snow, I think.
Oh my God. My poor garden. But yeah, anyway, that's the project. That's us. And as always, you can find these projects, these parts, everything you see here can be found on our website, a la carte or in a kit. So if you need this, great. Also on Amazon.com and through pretty much most every teaching catalog and whatnot as well. So there's wide variety of places you can grab these if you want. accept no substitutions. But yeah, if you have a garden light at home or some other random solar panels, as long as you're 2 to 3 volts, really anything above 2 volts will work just fine with most vibrating motors. And I usually a smaller solar panel makes life easier. This way, it less mass to try to wiggle around. That's always the issue. It's that weird balancing act between too big of a solar panel has too much weight so it doesn't move versus too small without enough power. But that's a solar cockroach.
Nice.
Pete, you've never made one of these before. You have any questions about solar cockroaches?
No, they're awesome. No, I remember when I was a kid, I got a solar cell from American Science and Surplus.
Oh, yes.
I hooked it up to a little motor with a fan, and I was like, "Hey, when it's hot and sunny out, the fan will blow." And same basic concept. So
I'm pretty sure that's the same kit that is still being sold there because I remember seeing like a kit at Radio Shack when I was like 7 years old and wanting that, and then as an adult, 20-some years, 30 actually probably 30 years later, I saw the exact same thing in American Science and Surplus. Literally the exact same kit hadn't changed for probably the same price. But really, small solar panels are really nice for after-school projects, arts and crafts projects, science fair projects, and they're pretty inexpensive, even off places like Amazon. And we have a few we sell ourselves. And if you want to do a lot of bigger projects with things like making a USB charger, you need a lot of solar panels still for that. But little things like this, they're easy. And Dollar Tree sometimes has really nice ones you can take apart for $1, which is really nice for $1. But otherwise, little kit like this is pretty nice and easy as well. So if anybody has any questions today in our wonderful live stream,
no question. Now's the time. Otherwise, I think we're
also like a 30-second delay too. So yeah.
You know what? Maybe they should visit browndoggadgets.com.
You know what, Pete? You should flash those wonderful social media links.
Do you think? Yeah, they could. We're all over the place.
This week we are doing several live streams. Tomorrow we're going to be doing a live stream about a bunch of fun Mother's Day arts and crafts STEM projects that people can make. Basically an overview of some different things that you can do both from us and other people. Thursday we're interviewing Natasha from Techno Chic. She's going to Skype in and show us some fun STEM projects that she does. Natasha's pretty awesome. She's made a few really cool projects for us over the last couple of years. If something looks really, really nice on our website, like a really nice project, Natasha probably made it. Yeah. Because she does a really nice job with the fine detail arts and crafts projects. And then Friday, we're having our Friday Hangout showing out a few things as well that we've been going over this week and some fun projects we're working on. So, we're trying to live stream like 3-4 days a week. So please stop by and say hi. I mean, it's something to help kill the time during COVID-19 with our wonderful brick background that we built by hand, brick by brick.
You know what else we have?
What?
We have our end credits.
Oh, yes. Special thanks to Ben Nelson in Oconomowoc, the city with too many vowels.
There's an O every other letter.
Every other letter's an O.
Yep.
A real place in Wisconsin that people can never pronounce when they call.
Oconomowoc.
Yeah, good times. So Ben Nelson was nice to make some really cool opening credits for us and end credits for us. Although he would not hum out the theme song we wrote. So it was too much like Happy Days. So anyway, if you see some really nice end credits going on, thanks, Ben Nelson. I know you're out there watching somewhere or eventually. But thanks for the end credits and opening credits. But thanks. Okay, we're going to end right now because somebody has any questions.
No, let's roll those credits.
All right, roll those credits.
All right,
bye, everybody.
We'll see you later.
Thanks for watching. Please visit browndoggadgets.com for parts, projects, and curriculum. Follow us on social media at browndoggadgets. Check out our live streams at Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We'll see you next time.